What's going on, world? What it do? Welcome to another edition of the 2-Minute Tune Up. If you don't know who I am, allow me to take a brief moment to introduce myself. My name is Walt, Coach Walt to many of you. Right now, I coach entrepreneurs, businessmen and women, CEOs, coach pastors. I've coached athletes, individuals who just want better, want more in life, business, sports, clearly, just overall. They want better. They want to win more consistently. I want to win more consistently. So I'm constantly looking for ways to coach myself and be coached also, be mentored, be taught. But this year, I want to congratulate all of you on all of your successes, all of your wins, all of your achievements. Because if you're listening to me right now, if you're watching my videos, it's because you want more. It's because you see more for yourself and you're trying to challenge yourself to get there. You want to achieve at a high level and you're not okay with just being average. You know you're great and you want to be phenomenal. Keep going. You've made great strides this year. Keep going. In all of that, the prevailing affliction that I see the most is unforgiveness. So do me a huge favor and do an even bigger one for yourself and forgive. Listen, what I want you to do right now is join me over on YouTube for the rest of this video. Okay? The link will be in the description. Also visit IamCoachWalt.com. Come see me. Come talk to me. Let's make your dreams a reality. Let's really take the time to make the rest of your life the best of your life. 2 minutes. Listen, thank you for joining me over here on YouTube, from TikTok and Instagram, or wherever it is that you saw the first portion of the 2-minute tune up here in the introduction. Excuse me. Again, I am Coach Walt. And my goal is to help you get better, challenge you to be better, to achieve at a higher level, to see things for yourself that you may have never seen or even imagined. That's what I want for you. My purpose here is to serve your purpose. That's who I am. Now, I challenged everyone to forgive. And not just forgive, but let go. Now, it's often said that we carry our pain and our hurt and trauma and tragedy. We carry those things around. But I would like to paint a different picture. Not that we carry it so much, but we drag it behind us. And some of us even like a badge of honor. And we pull it out when we want to feel bad. Or we want others to feel bad for us. We pull it out. Release that. Let that anchor go. Let that weight go. When I was in high school, first high school I went to, for punishment, my coach used to make us strap a tire to our back, right? Rope tied to a tire. We'd strap it on, harness it to our back. And we literally would run poles. That's from one foul pole to the other. And I don't mean straight across the field. I mean around the edge of the fence. He said that we were going to create his warning track just by punishment running that year. And I can't tell you how much punishment running I did. But it was always, always such a relief to be able to take those straps off, man, and run freely. And what I understood beyond the punishment, which wasn't fun, but what I understood was, and my coach may not have even thought of it this way, but every time I took that tire off, I unstrapped that tire from my back. Every time I dropped that dead weight that I really couldn't do anything with, what I realized was I was able to go faster, longer. I was stronger. But every time I strapped that tire on my back, it slowed me down. It weighed me down. Unstrap the tire. Let that weight go. And move on. Really move on. It's one thing, that I strive to do. And some of you know this, if you've been coached by me before, in depth especially, is a lot of the business principles that I teach directly from biblical principles. That's my foundation, right? If you know me, you know that. And welcome to those of you who have never met me before, never engaged with my content. I'm Coach Walt. But it brought me back to a passage of scripture in Mark 11. Okay, and we're going to start at verse 22 and we'll read through 26. All right, King James Version says, "And Jesus answering said unto them, Have faith in God. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe that those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatever he saith." Verse 24, "Therefore I say unto you, whatever things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that you receive them, and ye shall have them." In verse 25, you know what? Let's stop right there. We live in a time when we believe that all we have to do, and we've been taught this also, especially in the church and spiritual background, that all we have to do is name it and claim it. But that's in direct contradiction to what Jesus says to the disciples in this passage. Right? In verse 24, again, he says, "Whatsoever things you desire when you pray, believing you shall receive." There's work that has to be done there. Okay? Faith first, pray next. Okay? And then verse 25 says, "And when you stand praying, forgive." Forgive. "If you have aught against any, that your Father also which is in heaven may forgive you your trespasses." Verse 26, "But if you do not forgive, neither will your Father which is in heaven forgive you your trespasses." Forgiveness is the key to unlocking your faith. It's the key. It is the ultimate key, and it's the ultimate weapon also against the enemy. The one thing he wants to do is weight you down and weigh you down with unforgiveness. And many times, it's not even that you haven't forgiven someone else. It's that you're carrying the weight of unforgiveness against yourself. Like you've got pain and so many things, that you have held against yourself. And one of the biggest things that we're not taught to do is forgive ourselves. And so what happens is we want God to do all these things, right? We want to be able to speak to the mountain and, tell it to be removed and cast into the sea. We want our faith to work that way. But what we don't know is to activate that faith, we've got to be able to forgive. That forgiveness is like a weight, man. And it's like a lever, right? And as it's tied to us, we can see an open door. Our faith opens the door. But as we walk towards that door, there's a string tied to our back and the other side of that door. As we walk towards that door, the weight of unforgiveness pulls that door shut in front of us. Got to let it go. And I mean, truly forgive and let it go. Listen, it's not any plainer than that. Your faith is unlocked by your unforgiveness. Or by your forgiveness, excuse me. And true forgiveness. Truly letting things go and not remembering them for pain's sake. Right? Not remembering them for revenge's sake. Because it's so easy for us to say, oh yeah, I forgive, but I won't forget. I think that's a common mantra. But what we don't realize is not only does our mind not forget, because it really is a repository of information. If you allow it to, it stays in there. Okay? Even if you push it to the back or to the side, wherever you want to put it, it's there. So when another incident happens and you get triggered by either a situation or a person or a thought or whatever that looks like, here comes that memory of wrongdoing. Here comes that memory of the situation. Listen, so many of us are allowing situations to live in us that we no longer live in. Ooh, that was good. These situations, these circumstances of hurt and pain, guilt, shame, wrongdoing are living inside of us years and years after we are done living in that situation. And it keeps us in that mentality. Life has gone on for everyone else, for the rest of the world. We're still stuck in what happened in that particular period of time. Free yourself. You want your business to succeed? You want your business to be free? Free yourself. You want your relationships to be better and to be freer? Forgive and free yourself. See, because what happens is unforgiveness eats you up from the inside. It's like when something passes away, right? Someone, we'll stick with something though. That thing begins to rot from the inside before we ever see the manifestation of that rot on the outside. By the time we begin to see decomposition on the outside, the inside has been rotting and decomposing for quite some time. And that's what's happening to most of us. We're rotting and decomposing on the inside. And the person that we have ought against or the situation that we haven't forgiven is going on about their life as beautifully as they want to. And it's rotting you from the inside out. So now it's time to uproot those things and get rid of them. They no longer serve you. Whatever that situation, that circumstance is that person that you haven't forgiven, it no longer serves you. Let it go. Move on. Be every bit of who you know and believe you're supposed to be. Because let me tell you something. I know your faith says you're an overcomer. I know your faith says you're a high achiever. Your faith says that your business is going to make $10 million. Your faith says that you're going to be on the Inc. 5,000 fastest growing businesses list. Your faith says you're going to be a Fortune 500 CEO. But that unforgiveness in your heart keeps you stuck right here where you are. It's like running in quicksand. You're only sinking faster and faster. Getting stuck farther and farther. So listen, once again, man, it's Coach Walt. I want you to be great. You are great, and I want you to be phenomenal. I want you to get everything that it is you say you want. You believe that you want. You believe that you deserve. And you do deserve it. But you got to do the work in here. End up here. Forgive them, forgive it, forgive yourself. And let's make 2024, man, the best year ever. Write down what you want. And you know what? Share it with me. Write down what you want. Let's agree on it together. Let's believe on it together. And let's work through forgiving whatever it is that's holding you back. Let that weight go. Drop that tire and run, baby. Drop that tire and run. Again, this is Coach Walt. See you next time.